Top 10 People That Cheated Death. Vesna Volovic, a 22-year-old stewardess, miraculously survived a fall from 33,000 feet without a parachute, making it to the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest fall survived without one. This was during a Yugoslav airline flights from Copenhagen to Belgrade, in which a bomb planted by a separatist group exploded, causing the plane to crash into the mountains and killing everyone except for Volovic, who sustained serious injuries but managed to lead a full life afterward. Franz Selak, a Croatian music teacher, has cheated death on multiple occasions and lived to the age of 85. At the age of 33, he survived a train derailment that killed 17 passengers. A year later, he was blown out of a plane after a door was blown off, but landed on a haystack and lived. He was then in a bus that plunged into a river, killing 4, but he survived. At 41, his car's fuel tank exploded, but he managed to escape. And the same thing happened again 3 years later. He has also survived another bus accident. Despite his incredibly unlucky experiences, Selak won the lottery in 2003 and became a millionaire, making him the unluckiest lucky person ever. The Old Christians Rugby Union team from Uruguay, affiliated with Stella Maris College, met a tragic fate when their plane crashed into a mountain peak while en route to a game in Chile. This incident led to the peak being named Glacier of Tears, as 12 members of the team lost their lives. The remaining members were stranded in the harsh Andes with little food, and after the search for them was called off, they lost all hope. Facing temperatures of 30 degrees below zero, they began dying one by one, with the survivors resorting to cannibalism to stay alive. Eventually, 2 brave members of the team managed to reach Chile on foot and alert the world of their plight, having survived an incredible 72 days. Anatoly Bugorsky, a researcher at the Institute for High Energy Physics in Protvino, experienced a shocking accident while working on malfunctioning equipment from the largest Soviet particle accelerator. A beam measuring about 200,000 rads penetrated his head, causing his face to swell and peel off. Despite only 500 rads being enough to kill a person, Bugorsky survived the ordeal with his intellect intact and continued his scientific career successfully. However, he lost hearing in his left ear and suffered from a frozen left face due to nerve damage. Roy Sullivan, a ranger from Virginia, achieved a place in the Guinness Book of World Records for surviving 7 lightning strikes. Although each strike left him scarred, Sullivan only suffered minor injuries such as the loss of toenail, burnt eyebrows and hair, or searing his shoulder. But some incidents were more severe and left him with chest burns. Ironically, despite his series of miraculous escapes, Sullivan committed suicide at the age of 71 for reasons unrelated to his bad luck with storms. Joe Simpson and Simon Yates set out to scale the west peak of the Cielo Grande, a mountain range in the Peruvian Andes, measuring 20,814 feet high. Their mission was made famous by Simpson's book, Touching the Void, which describes their climb and Simpson's fall. Simpson fell 100 feet into an ice crevasse and managed to survive by crawling back up to base camp, which took him 3 days. Truman Duncan survived a horrific accident in which he fell off a moving train and was swept underneath it, resulting in him being cut into pieces. Despite losing both his legs, a kidney, and undergoing 23 surgeries, Duncan remained conscious for the next 45 minutes and managed to call paramedics himself, ultimately making it out of the hospital alive. While on a canyoneering trip in Blue John Canyon, Aaron Larson was trapped under a boulder that had fallen on him, pinning his arm down and making it impossible for him to move. Despite his attempts to lift and break the boulder, he eventually realized it was futile after 5 days. Dehydrated and delirious, Larson eventually summoned the courage to amputate his own arm, breaking the bone and cutting it off completely to free himself from the boulder. Robert Evans, a 46-year-old homeless man, was involved in a hit-and-run accident and was sent away from the hospital after receiving treatment. However, on his way back to his camp, he was hit by a train and landed in a creek and ended up back in the hospital only 7 hours later. It was a miracle that he survived both accidents in such a short period of time. Marlo Prosperi participated in the 1994 Marathon of Sands in Morocco, which was engulfed by a sandstorm, causing him to lose his way and become stranded in the desert, running in the wrong direction. He ended up in Algeria, where he sought refuge in an abandoned mosque. He survived for 9 days by consuming his own urine and eating bats and snakes before being discovered by a nomadic family who took him to an Algerian military camp, where he was hospitalized.